Welcome to Manifested Publishers.
Hello dear learner, I'm glad that you could join us today. My name is Wilson Mwangu. Today we want to look at some words pertaining to drug abuse. Remember the passage Mutulu? Yes, it was about drug abuse. This boy got engaged in drug abuse, and at one point was forced to be taken to a rehabilitation center. Now that will be the theme of today's lesson, because so many young people are engaging in drug abuse with devastating consequences. So in today's lesson, I want us to go through some words related to drug abuse. So that will be a lesson objective. Now, we shall start with the word drug. Then we shall go to abuse. A drug is a medication that you are given. For example, if you fall sick, if you are unwell, you'll be given a drug. Okay? It's meant to cure an illness. Then you have the word abuse. Abuse means misuse of the drugs. So a drug is not something bad, but the moment you misuse it, then we call that drug abuse. Right? So we will start with our drug. A medication given to cure an ailment or a disease. That is a drug. Then there's abuse. Abuse, misuse of a drug. But in this context, drug abuse is used to imply using some forbidden drugs. There are some drugs which you should not use. For example, bang, cocaine, we call that drug abuse, right? So that's the context of these two words. So drug abuse, using drugs which are not allowed. So drug abuse, using drugs that are forbidden. That means not allowed. Not allowed. You can even say illegal drugs. Illegal drugs, for example, bang. Bang, okay? So then there's another term called alcoholism. Consumption of excess alcohol. Consumption. That means you intake, that's consumption of excess alcohol. Alcoholism. There are some people who consume too much to a point that the body can no longer work without that alcohol. So when your body relies on alcohol for it to function, normally you call that dependence, or it's called an addiction. So an addiction or a dependence, it means your body relies on alcohol or drugs to function properly. To function properly. That is an addiction, right? But someone who relies so much on alcohol is called an alcoholic. So we have the word alcoholic, a person who relies who is addicted to alcohol is called an alcoholic. All right. Now, once your body, as I've explained, addiction, that means you can't function without the drugs. And let me ask, which are these ways in which people intake drugs, okay, or people abuse drugs? You can abuse drugs by, for example, by smoking, okay. So there's that smoking. You can smoke bang, all right. This is the commonest way of using drugs. That people smoke bang, that those who smoke cigarettes, okay. Yes, that's one way of ingest or getting drugs into your system. Another way is through swallowing. We put some drugs here and then you swallow, okay. That's the second way. The third way is through injection, what are called injectables. So a drug that is injected into your body system. So we call that injectables. Drugs injected into the blood system. They're called injectables. All right. Now, once you get used to the drugs and your body cannot function properly, at times you experience what we call hallucinations. Hallucinations. Remember Mutulu? This boy could just begin screaming at nothing, right? He was imagining that there's an enemy in his room, yet there was no one. Those are hallucinations. We say you hallucinate, okay? So hallucinate means these are just some form of imaginations. Because your mind is confused, right? Actually, drugs confuse your thought process. You might even find some people might even lose appetite. They might overeat. You might think that you're the strongest man in this world. So drugs do what? They confuse your thought process. Your thought process has been confused. In fact, you might behave like a mad person. Actually, even some drugs make you become mad. Especially the hard drugs like bang and cocaine, it can make you lose your mind, okay? We say that, as I explained the word hallucinations. Then if your body is so much used into taking drugs, you may be forced to be taken to a rehabilitation center, a place where you are trained, okay? You are rehabilitated. That means it's a place where you are reformed, okay? Because most drug addicts actually they normally misbehave. So you are a place where you are forced to change. We call that a rehabilitation center. A place where drug addicts are changed. Rehabilitation center. Another thing about drugs, they make you become violent. Okay? I've explained that. That's one way of manifestation. Some people become violent. Others have what called a don't care attitude. Some people might exhibit violent behavior, okay, where you want to hurt other people or harm other people. Others may be negligent, okay? That means you even refuse to take care of yourself. For example, you might see like some people, they even refuse to take a bath, they don't brush their teeth, they're just unkempt, all right? So we say you become negligent. You can become unkempt. you don't take care of yourself, do not take care of yourself. And of course, I have to tell you, drugs, when you are found in possession of drugs, that is a crime, okay? So it's a crime. It's an offense. In fact, most hard drugs, they will attract a lifelong imprisonment. You'll be jailed for so long, either for your entire life or for a long period of time. So these are some of the words that are used when we talk about drug abuse. There are many more. I've just given you just a few of them. You can get other words, okay? So I want to give you a paragraph that you're going to use some of these words to fill in that paragraph. And that will be your homework. I'm going to erase. The question says, use the appropriate words in the box to fill in the gaps in the passage below. The words are trafficking, hallucinations, addiction, alcohol, heroin, cocaine, dependence, withdrawal, and bang. A person who takes hard drugs such as dash and dash for a long time may have a problem of drug dash. Smoking of dash makes one get dash. That is, he or she sees things that are not real. Dash on dash can make one careless such that they contract HIV/AIDS. Those who take drugs and experience dash symptoms should go for counseling. It is a crime to get involved in the dash of illegal drugs. So my dear learner, attempt this passage and send to us your responses so that we can correct where you might have gone wrong. So up to that moment, we shall end today's lesson. Until some other time, thank you so much. God bless you.